My name's Leanne Hadley, and welcome to Pieta. We are continuing our Lenten study where we're looking at 40 people who endured darkness and followed the light and found the light. And so we're using this booklet that we developed at First United Methodist Church in Frankfurt called Trust in the Light, a collection of 40 real life stories, people who trusted in the light. And tonight, before we read the stories of the people, or before I tell them to you, and you can read them or just listen to my summary, whatever. Before we get to that, though, I want to talk about one of the downfalls, I think, of a book like this. You have a book like this, and you have somebody, they discover radium, or they change the whole, Supreme Court or something like that. And you're like, wow, these people shine a lot of light. I don't. And I think that that's not true. I'm reminded of the words of Mother Teresa when she said, when people said, can I come to Calcutta and do work with you? And she said, well, you can, but I wish you wouldn't. I've got plenty of help. Please go home and shine a light in your own corner of the world. And so as we start tonight, I just want to take a moment and be still. And I want you to think of a person, and maybe the leaders will want to shut off this tape for a minute or this recording for a minute and let you share. But who is it in your life that shined a light for you? Like, you are the person you are, you believe in the light because of who? What kind of light did they shine? So take a minute and think of those people. And then start the tape again and share, because I want you to share these. So let's say we stopped the tape and now we're back, and that's great. Or we didn't. Anyway, I sound like a crazy person. What I want to say is, whoever you named, whether you've shared it with the group or just thought about it or written her name down, whatever name you came up with, I have a feeling that they are not somebody that everybody's going to write about in 40 years or 50 years or 100 years in a book. They're probably somebody like your grandmother, a sister, a friend, a pastor that you had, a teacher that you had. They probably had no idea that they were a light to you. They probably were just a regular person. And I think that the beautiful thing about shining your light is that you do it because it's given to you by God to share. It's not a shiny star that you wear or a crown that you wear to say, look at me, I'm a light, I'm a light. You're just living your everyday life. And when I look at the people that we're going to look at tonight, they were just living their everyday lives. And then they got either caught up in something, or they none of these people thought, I am a light to the nations, because it's not our light. It's God's light. And you don't have to discover anything great or be remembered or do anything great to realize that you're on this earth to light up your corner of the earth. So just remember that tonight. And I hope you do that little exercise and that it's helpful for you to remember that someday somebody's going to name you as their light. So tonight we looked at St. Francis of Assisi, who lived in the 1100s. He gave up everything to follow God. And people thought he was crazy. The Pope thought he was crazy. His parents thought he was crazy. His friends thought he was crazy. But he just went off and started rebuilding God's church. He had an awakening because he probably had PTSD from serving in the Crusades. And he just gave up everything. And the next thing you knew, people followed him. And till the day he died, people said he is too extreme. Like this is too much. But they followed him. And when we think of having too much or living a simple life, St. Francis can be a beautiful light for us during that time. The next person I want to mention is Anne Frank, and I'm sure you know her story. She was born in 1929, and she spent her early childhood in Germany, and it was becoming increasingly hostile to Jewish families. And so when she was 13, in 1942, she went to live in a secret annex, and she wrote a diary. And if you've read this book recently, it's just the diary of a teenager. And she's talking about crushes that she has and what it is to be kissed and all the things that teenagers talk about. But then she has some beautiful things about hope and about resiliency, and that her writings have inspired people. She died in captivity, or, she died from the Holocaust, but she just modeled that she never gave up hope in humanity. So she inspires me as I watch the world kind of getting crazy, and I remember there's always humanity. Even in the midst of the Holocaust, there was humanity, but we got to look for it. And sometimes it takes the heart of a teenager to help you look at the world positively. The older we get, the harder it is. It takes work to see the good in humanity sometimes. So she's a great influence, I think. The next person is Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Some people don't like some Ruth Bader. I love me some Ruth Bader. But the beautiful thing about Ruth Bader, whether you like the way she voted on the Supreme Court or not, is that in 1950, she went to law school. This woman worked hard because she believed in justice. And then she got on the Supreme Court. And again, some people think she should have left the Supreme Court sooner, but she fought every day until the day she died for justice. She believed so much in justice. So if you're a person who fights for justice, wants justice, whatever, Ruth Bader might be the one that inspires you. She's a beautiful person. And I love this line in it. It says, she continued to work even though it was hard with her illnesses, when she was really sick, and she trusted that her voice still mattered even when she was ill. So she's a big influence for us, and so she's one of the people. And the last person is Temple Grandin, which I did not know this person. She had autism, and she was always different, and somebody in our group tonight had actually met her and said, she has a very flat affect, very measured her words and stuff, but she just steadily kept at it. Her mother advocated for her, and she is the leading expert on the mistreatment of animals. She found respite in animals. She found light in caring for animals. And so even though with everything that this woman has been through, steadily, she became the leading expert in animals and a role model for anyone who has an autistic child or diagnoses. She's just incredible. I had not heard of her, but I fell down a deep rabbit hole learning about her, and I understand she has some videos out there I'm going to watch. So she's a beautiful, beautiful person. So tonight, we're going to look at these 4 people, and St. Francis, Anne Frank, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and Temple Grandin, and what in their lives inspires you or impresses you with the light? What in their life helps you to remember that light shines in the darkness of your life as well? So spend some time talking about that. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope to see you very soon. Thank you for being part of Pieta. You bless us.